Hey guys, thanks for checking us on out here on the channel. If you guys could, please subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. Like the videos. You guys know the YouTube deal at this point. Also, if you guys are unaware, you guys could watch my radio show with my guy Leroy Horde every single weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. live. You guys can get in on the chat, get a notification every time we go live. So check us on out there. Love the fun we're having every single day. Love the fun that was going on today at the Dolphins facility. You had Chris Greer. He was out there talking. You had assistant GM Marvin Allen was there with him. Then you had Tua Tagovailoa with his press conference today, and Xavier Howard. So a lot of people, a lot of the bigwigs today were addressing the media at in attendance over at the Baptist Health Dolphins team facility. And it was funny because, you know, this is going on and the show is going on as it's happening. And I'm kind of just, reading all the beat, right? Joe Shad, Adam Beasley, Barry Jackson, everybody who's covering the team there. And it's just like, you're reading the tweet and Tua's press conference comes up. And what a delight, because I was learning about his jiu-jitsu, which, as me as a fight fan, I'm very excited about this whole ordeal of Tua learning jiu-jitsu to avoid falls. I like bringing this up to, some of the UFC guys that I have on the program, like Max. I don't know if you guys saw, interviewed Max Holloway. It's on the channel, the whole interview, but asked Max Holloway about the idea of Tua. Max Holloway, fellow Hawaiian, and is had some social media shouts to Tua. And I was kind of curious, do they have a relationship or what? So talked to him about that and the idea of Tua doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, Tua, I got nothing but respect for him. We reached out to each other on top of social media here and there. I wouldn't really be like, oh, he's one of my best friends. I would like, if he said that he's my friend, I would say he's my friend. But at the end of the day, he's a great kid. He's a great man, a great person on this earth, a great leader. And it just happened, things happen like that. He was having the season of his life, man, and then one thing, man, leads into another, and hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he's doing all the things, which I know for sure he needs to be doing all the things for his head and getting checked and coming back. Because, man, I really think Tua can do it, man. I think he can bring Miami a freaking back a Super Bowl, and it'd be exciting.
Have you heard though what he is doing? Like he went to the offseason with a plan, and he's taken up jiu-jitsu apparently, because a lot of the hits that he took were hitting the back of his head on the field. So he's like,
when I actually read that. When I saw that, that was smart. To learn how to fall, because when he is getting thrown, he's just kind of like throwing himself. So if you got two of your hands, if you throw the ball already and you're getting taken down, you should learn how to catch your fall. And I think so. It will help to a certain extent. So I'm super excited that he's doing that. And if he ever needs somebody to jiu-jitsu with, he back home, tell him holla at your boy.
So Max Holloway's been willing to help. My guy Gilbert Burns, top UFC welterweight contender, a world jiu-jitsu champion. He has also offered up his services. He's a monster Dolphins fans. He's been in South Florida for a long time now. His kids love Tyreek Hill. They were actually wearing Tyreek Hill jerseys at the weigh-in for the Jorge Masvidal fight. So been asking a lot of fighters about this, but Tua finally got to kind of address it himself today, which was very exciting. I was dying to hear about what it has been like Tua learning jiu-jitsu and where he has what he has been learning, and this is what he had to say.
Still a white belt. I'm still a white belt. I just started.
So what have you learned though?
Obviously learned how to fall. Learn some grappling techniques. Learn some other things too that I don't think I should disclose. But for the most part, learn how to fall. You'd think it's easy. Just don't fall and hit your head. But I mean, there's a lot more to it.
And so he's been, he was learning all these positions and whatnot, and how he's trying to, how he's trying to get things going there, and has been learning different falls while he's been in class.
I mean, we used like crash pads to land on first with trying to fall. Obviously, with tucking your chin, that was one of the deals, but it went a lot more into the technique of how to disperse your energy when you fall, kind of like the posture you want to be in, and if you're not presented that posture, what are other things that you can do to help you disperse the energy when you fall. So it's a lot of those things, and it's actually a lot cooler than you think when you hear of learning how to fall.
It really is. It's one of the things, like, I think a lot of people have heard this idea from Tua and thought it was really, this is dumb. Who needs to learn how to fall? But I guess, like, the best way to put it, it's like for all these people who do Pilates or whatever, body weight or it's really just about body control. And so I think at its front, it's like, oh, I know Shannon Sharp made fun of Tua. Who needs to learn how to fall? You don't. But talking to this about Leroy when he's like, yeah, I used to do that in my rookie year. It would fall in the back of my head and had to fix that. Now Leroy did not take jiu-jitsu, although, man, I love the idea of Leroy taking jiu-jitsu. God, that'd be funny. But I do think that this is it's a killer workout. It's a huge, core type workout, and that whole thing of body control is an impressive thing. And if you really do master it. But I think my favorite part about the whole thing, he was talking about one of his falls, because about some of the tough hits that he took last year, and apparently, like, they went through a reel in the class to see what techniques would work for him.
Yeah, it wasn't tough to watch. It wasn't tough to watch. I want to get better at everything that I can do to help the team win games. And I know the biggest one is my health, staying out on the field. And so looking at the film, I was able to watch that with my jiu-jitsu coach, and we were able to, kind of relive the scenario in how I got tackled, how I fell. And it wasn't just one particular game. It was, multiple ways that I got taken down and how I could have prevented that.
Beautiful. Also, can't wait to see him put Chris Jones in the Anaconda choke. I mean, that's just going to be a delight next year. But obviously, look, so I was scrolling through, I was watching this all go down on Twitter and, the whole jiu-jitsu thing. But I as soon as I saw this tweet, I think it was from Madam Beasley. Maybe it was Barry Jackson. I forget. But as soon as I saw this headline that he had tweeted out about Tua thinking that he was going to retire, consider retire, I'm like, oh, that is going to be a thing. That is going to be a thing. That's going to be a national headline. Congratulations. We have our next Tua topic for the next 2 weeks. ESPN's like, yeah. Tua considered retirement. It's like, well, that's all right. So that was that is going to be the big headline grab out of his press conference today. He was, talking about when he had his multiple concussions last year. Was there any discussion or thought or consideration to retirement, to hanging it up, to not playing football? And Tua admitted, Tua has been a pretty forthcoming guy. He's been an honest guy. He has been, especially after dealing with all the bull bleep that he had to his first couple of years. I think we've seen a guy who has grown a lot more comfortable in front of the microphone, and certainly didn't even want to share really anything about his personal life. Let people in and let them know, yeah, I was thinking about stepping away from the game.
Yeah, I think I considered it, for a time, having sat down with my family, having sat down with my wife and having those kind of conversations. But really, it would be hard for me to walk away from this game with how old I am, with my son. I always dreamed of growing, playing as long as I could to where my son knew exactly what, he was watching his dad do. And it's my health, it's my body, and I feel like this is what's best for me and my family. So, I love the game of football. If I didn't, I would have quit a long time.
And there you have it, Tua on his. And so, look, this is going to be debated up and down. If you thought about it, why are you coming back? There's going to be a lot of pearl clutchers who can say, "Oh, I can't believe he's playing football again." Look, what he went through last year was scary, especially in Cincinnati when he got carted off the field. And it was not great to hear that, he was having issues after the Packers game, or happened in a Packers game where, afterwards he's having a tough time recalling things. Not trying to downplay the seriousness of what Tua went through last year. It is very scary, but it's also a thing that other football players have been through, and guys have bounced back from and gotten through. And I just think that, man, people telling other people when they should and shouldn't do things. Look, I'm just not comfortable with that. I don't think that that's a thing where people can just decide, hey, I don't want to see you go out there and play football anymore because it makes me uncomfortable. And that's what I think it was. It's like it didn't feel like anybody really had concern for Tua's health. It felt very much like, people just wanted to say the thing that I guess makes them sound considerate. But the other part of this is, and it's a real thing, it's like, this is what this guy has built his entire life for. And yeah, Tua, if he walked away, or Tua, if he thought about it, he would probably be fine. I'm sure, between, signings in Alabama and just being a legend like that over for the Crimson Tide and doing signings and being a former Heisman winner and endorsements, all this, I'm sure Tua would be, financially fine. However, I don't know if you guys have seen what quarterback contracts are looking like lately. When you're a good year of football away from changing generations of your family and their entire fortune and taking care of everybody, there's going to be a part of you that's going to weigh the risk and reward of that. There's going to be a part of you that is going to feel on the doorstep of all the accomplishments that you have worked hard for, on top of the fact of you probably identify with this thing that you have been doing for your entire life, on top of the fact that you're super competitive, on top of the fact that, hey, now you have a family and you want, some of your legacy to be your family seeing what you do. I think personally, like, look, if the guy is cleared and the guy is been able to, rest his brain over this offseason and get himself right, like, all right, let's just hope that he's healthy the rest of the way. Let's just root for that. I think and I know this could be something that's like a little bit up in the air. Like, how is he going to react to all this? What is his future going to be like? But when he was on the field last year and he was able to stay healthy, damn, that guy was good. And if you had already been mentally through a lot of hurdles your first couple years of your career, you physically were through a lot because you were coming back from a devastating injury, right? You're this top can't miss prospect. Your hip breaks. Oh my God, is anybody going to look at me the same? You get drafted by this organization. You come in, you're not quite the same. And then on top of it, you have a coach who is kind of a dick to you and doesn't really think that you got the goods and maybe doesn't think you work hard enough and doesn't really, just his rats off a ship on you in generally. And then all of a sudden they're looking for your replacement. You battle through all of that. You finally have somebody who's in your corner who believes in you. You, when you are able to play the game, are pretty damn good at it. You seem like you have a team around you that could do some real winning. You've seen now a guy who was in your own locker room years back in Jalen Hurts now get life-changing money to go from where he was to now where you are, to go from where he was, where you were in front of him, and now is at a spot where he is completely secured for the rest of his life. So, yeah, all of this stuff does go through your head, and you do weigh all this stuff. Joe Burrow has given voice to this. I think most people should just root him on. Like, I think mostly, instead of you guys being scared for Tua or acting like you're disgusted about him playing football or acting like this is some outrageous thing, how dare this man who had a couple of concussions, a few concussions last year, want to continue the career that he has been building for since he was a child. I don't know, call me crazy. Maybe we should just root for him and wish, and hope that he gets through this healthy and maybe see him play some awesome football.